Hello, everybody. Stevie Coyle here, Mighty Fine Guitars with the Friday Noontime webcast in Lafayette, California. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. These things happen most Fridays, mostly at noon. So stop by any old time. There's lots of these up on Facebook and Instagram and the YouTube channel in particular, Stevie Coyle Music over there on the YouTube channel, where I review a guitar a week or so. And this week, what I have for you is, checking as usual to make sure that the signal is going out. Looks like it is. Very good, very good. Perhaps this could come up just the tiniest bit. Hello. Sorry. Maybe more like that. A guitar by a gentleman named John Datlen, capital D, small a, small t, small L-E-N, Datlen, who has a big fan, I'm just recalling, in Jason Newsted, of all people, from Metallica. Jason happened to be in here buying some guitars, and John walked in with a guitar to show me for consideration for consignment. And Jason said, "That sounds really good. Let me play that." And he played it a little bit and said, "I'll take it. And furthermore, I'd like to commission a couple more." This is an O-size guitar. I'll tell you that before I play it, because it doesn't sound like an O guitar. An O size is about 13.5 inches across the lower bout. Smallish guitar by today's standards. But back in the mid-1800s, this was a big, mid-1900s, mid-1800s, no, that's right. Sorry, I'm getting my centuries and years mixed up. The 19th century, this was a big guitar. This was kind of considered not a parlor guitar, designed to be played in the parlor, probably by ladies, and probably by ladies whose family couldn't afford a piano, because that's what cultured people had, with a capital K. That's what cultured people had in the parlor. Parlor guitars were kind of next echelon for most folks. And this was a big guitar at the time. This is an O in Martin parlance, and I'm using Martin parlance here. It's kind of size 2, size 1. There's 2.5s. There's really, really small guitars. Anything smaller than an O is considered a parlor guitar. The term is used loosely, too loosely, to refer to, for a lot of people, refer to anything smaller than a dreadnought. Oh, it's a parlor guitar. Well, yeah, but if you want to get nerdy about it, parlor guitar is anything smaller than this. Now, by today's standards, excuse me, this is a fairly small guitar. But check this out. Doesn't sound like a small guitar. Picture yourself sitting on the couch, just kind of hanging out on the couch, watching Netflix, watching sports, doing whatever, reading maybe. Remember that? And you figure, I wish I had my guitar here. But you know, my guitar is huge. I have that dreadnought from college. Big old guitar, immense, really wide across the waist. So not only is it wide across the lower bout and deep, so it's hard to get my arm over the top, and maybe I have a shoulder impingement or a tennis elbow or something. It's also wide across the waist, so it sits up really high in my lap. You need a couch guitar. You need a couch cuddler. You need a sofa sweetheart. And this has tons of the sound of a much bigger guitar. That's kind of astonishing. Here's how John did it. He explained it to me. It's a long scale guitar. So instead of being short scale, which means the strings are easier to push around, this activates the top a little more because there's more string tension pulling up on the top. So it's long scale, but for you fingerstylers out there, a lot of fingerstyle people prefer a 12-fret guitar. A guitar that joins, where the neck joins the body at the 12th fret. Because effectively what that does is it pushes the bridge down into the middle of the lower bout, where there's more articulation to be had. When the saddle is up closer to the sound hole, like it is on bigger guitars, on a lot of bigger guitars, you get more saturation, but you don't get the same articulation that you get down here. So fingerstylers, who are doing multiple things over there on the left hand and right hand at the same time, really like that kind of piano-like articulation. Every note really stands out in a very distinct sort of way. But Typically, when you have a 12-fret guitar, you lose access to the upper frets. So if you play up here on the mealy frets, you can get them back with this nice Florentine cutaway. How about that? And check out the sound. I'll get back to the way it sounds, which is what it's all about. Let me face the microphone straight on. Oh, let me check and make sure. Say hello to folks that are here. Come on in, everybody. Stevie Coyle here. Friday noontime webcast. Oh, we got a few folks coming in. Hey, Ron, my old roomie. Vincy, very good. And everybody's welcome. Come on. Everett, missed the start. The maker, Everett, is John Datlen. D-A-T-L-E-N, John Datlen. Right here. I do like a nice Florentine. Don't you, though? As opposed to the Byzantine, which is all wrong. That's really kind of astonishing sound. It really is. Got these things in. That ain't right. Ah. Aside from the size, if I was just listening to this from across the room, I'd say, oh, triple O, OM, 2 sizes up from what it actually is. Now, let's face it, as we get older, a lot of us get wider. And so, the way we fit around our old dreadnoughts is not the way we do now. So sitting on the couch, watching sports or Netflix, or your favorite flavor. Oh, nice half steps. Always like listening to the half steps. So you've got, because it's a long scale, 25 and a half, 25.4 to get fancy about it. You get a lot of punch, you get a lot of power, and you can hit it hard without it rattling. Great for alternate tunings as well, down tunings, where you need to keep the strings nice and stiff so you're not sharping up as you move up the neck. Very surprising. Let me read you out the specs on this bad boy. It's the Datlen single O cutaway, Carpathian spruce on the top, curly koa back and sides. Oh, check this out. Purdy. 3D. As I always say, I'm always interested in what this part of the guitar is doing because that's the part I get to look at while I'm playing. Very nice. Curly koa back and sides, Honduras mahogany neck, nothing fancy there. We were talking about mahogany yesterday in the shop. Phil asked, why mahogany? It's stiff and it's light. It doesn't add a ton of weight to the guitar, and it's nice and stiff, maintains its shape, resistant to twisting and bowing. And once you get a truss rod in there, you're in great shape with a mahogany neck. Lots and lots of guitar necks, both acoustic and electric, are made of mahogany. The bindings are ebony. The purfling, the little fancy bits, are curly koa as well. The fretboard and bridge are gaboon ebony. It's got a little bit of a wedge to it as well. What's called the Manzer wedge, popularized by Linda Manzer, M-A-N-Z-E-R. See how it's a little wider over here than it is over there? That's so that the guitar leans right into you, a little easier to get your arm over the top, and the face of the guitar is kind of up more towards your face so you can sort of hear it better. I always think it's terribly ironic that if you're playing guitar, everybody else hears the guitar differently from the way you hear it. You're behind it. So if you can kind of get the guitar either by kind of leaning it back in your lap or with a Manzer wedge, the guitar faces you a little bit more. You get to hear more of what other people hear when you play guitar. Not bad. 12 frets to the body, 25.4-inch scale. The nut is 1 3/4. The string spacing down here is 2 1/4. The tuners are Schertler open gear. And it comes with this totally primo, don't know how to pronounce it, Weisses nut, Weisses new. I always try to find a more polite pronunciation for it, but I think it's Weisses nut. Kind of makes me shiver and shrivel. Tons of sustain. And it's a little bit different feel. I really dig it a ton, but it's a slightly unusual feel to play a full scale, a 25.4-inch scale, O-bodied guitar, 12 frets to the body, and cutaway. But it's kind of the golden mean for fingerstylers. For Netflix watching, finger styling, couch sitting, watching TV people. It's a fantastic guitar. The articulation is really intense, and I really like that. Saturation is nice too. Everything blends together. There's lots of sustain. But each individual note, you can focus on it and say, I want that one to be louder. And you can make it louder, make it stand out. It's easy to control the guitar. I guess that's a nice way to put it. It doesn't run away with you. It's got plenty of sound. And because it's got a big, big sound to it, you can kind of play it back from everything it can do. You can let it roar when you need to. And it's not like you have to be a fingerstyler. You can strum the daylights out of it. Very dynamic, and it's set up beautifully, just the way I like. Nice and low, but not so low it's going to rattle on the frets, and I was hitting it pretty hard there. Not a hint of rattle. So it's the Datlen O. It's the O Cutaway. The asking on this is $6,850 American dollars, $6,850. Fantastic thing. With a totally, like I said, a really fantastic kind of state-of-the-art case. The Vice, see, I resist even saying it. The Weisses nut case. Let me catch my breath. Weisses new? I don't know. The Weisses nut case is a carbon fiber case. The smallest, lightest. You can stand on the thing. I wouldn't, but I bet you could run over it and your guitar would be fine. It's built with lots of angles to it, so that if it does take a hit, it deflects the angles. If a forklift, God forbid, hit it at the airport behind the scenes, it would deflect. Wonderful. Lightweight. Comments and questions, stack them up down below. Here, let me see who's here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hi, Larry Pattis. Yeah, did you get those figures, Larry? Nut width is 1 3/4, string spacing is 2 1/4, and saddle at the saddle bridge pins, right, exactly. Diane, hey, how are you and Ziggy? Continuing with the adventure before dementia, which is wonderful. Folks, if you haven't tuned in to Diane Brokenshare's kind of running blog all over the world, these folks travel a ton, and they share their travelogue with us, and it's really super cool. I always look forward to those entries. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Alex. Well, all right then. Comments and questions, stack them up down below here. John Datlen himself was hoping to be here, but, life intruded. He will be able to answer your comments and questions later on in a completely knowledgeable way. You can ask the most arcane, bizarre stuff. He'll know what he did to this guitar. I'm giving you the sketch, the outline. And I can hardly recommend the guitar more highly. I've sold lots and lots of John's guitars. This one is a real peach. They're all quite wonderful, but this one, because it's so small, because it's so loud, so easy to play, so friendly with the Manzer wedge and the dimensions as they are. And like I say, the fact that it's long scale 12 fret cutaway, fingerstyler's delight. Ask your questions away. I'll be busy posting this over to the Mighty Fine Guitars Facebook page and then up to Instagram. And then, like I said, if you haven't subscribed, whatever they're calling it over there on YouTube, Stevie Coyle Music. I do one of these every week or so, and there's lots and lots of them stacked up there. And with any luck, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, there will be lots and lots more. Fridays at noontime is when they happen here on Facebook, and then they go up other places. So I'll see you here or elsewhere, and look forward to that. Who knows what's going to come in? Oh, I know what's coming in next week. There is a Collings OM3C. Oh, it's very nice. So don't stay tuned, but tune in again for that next Friday for the Friday Noontime webcast from Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, California. Your old pal Stevie Coyle here, signing off. Down the road, everybody. It's my crotch.